now look to the XNAT-PIC the software that you have developed. So Francesco, you.
Okay, thank you, Dario, and welcome back, everyone. So during this tutorial, I will show you how to install XNAT-PIC and the main features. So first of all, I will share my screen. Sure. Okay, and so if you go to our website, you can find the installer file here. You can click this button and the download of XNAT-PIC starts. And we also provide user instructions, and you can find our code on GitHub. Here there is the link. This is our GitHub page for XNAT-PIC with all the information and the instruction to install the source code on your environment to develop. So once you have installed XNAT-PIC, you can find the icon on your desktop, and we can open XNAT-PIC. Okay. This is the main interface where there are three options, how we saw before. There is the DICOM converter, the button to open the interface for custom variables, and the uploader option. So first of all, we can start from a real project, a project that we have prepared for this webinar. And we can see how it and we can see the extraction of this folder. So this project called Project Webinar has three subjects. The subject belongs to two different groups that in this case are glucose and 3-OMG, and another variable that is magnetic field. And inside the subject, we have the experiment, and inside the experiment, there are the Bruker file. So first of all, we have to convert this project. So come back to XNAT-PIC, and we can click DICOM converter, and we have this interface. How we can see, we have also in this case three options, because we can convert an entire project, a single subject, or an experiment. So if we click convert project, for example, we can select our project. And here in this box on the left, we can see the project structure with the subject and the experiments. If we want to convert a subject, again, we click convert subject, but in this case, we have to select a subject. And here we can see the subject with its experiment. But in this case, we want to convert the entire project, so we select project webinar. Okay, perfect. How you can see here, we have two options that are overwrite existing folder and copy additional files. Copy additional files mean if you have a folder with results in your project, the result folder is copied in the converted folder. So we can go with the converter, and we have to click the convert button. And we can see that the conversion starts, and there is a progress bar that inform you about the number of converted subject and the name of the subject that is converting. So a very few minutes, and we should have the converted folder. Okay, perfect. The conversion of the project is finished, and we can find the converted folder at the same level of the folder that contains the Bruker files. How we can see here, we have sorry, project webinar and project webinar DCM, because it contains, of course, the DICOM files. Here we can see inside, we have the DICOM files. So now we want to add some custom variables to this project because for sure it's too easy to recognize the subject. And so we have to click edit custom variables and we have this interface. Again, also in this case, we can work with the project, subject, and experiment. We select the project. In this case, we have to select the converted folder. It's in dataset, project webinar DICOM. Okay, and we have the entire project on the box on the left. We have a list of all the subjects and inside the subject there are the experiments and so on. So now we can add the custom variable. So we select the subject, the first one in this case, we can click modify, and we want to add the group. In this case, it's 3. It doesn't matter the name, but in any case, we can click confirm to save the data. And now we can see that the default custom variables that we provide are group, 10 point, and those. But in this case, we can see here, we have another custom variable magnetic field. So if we want to add another custom variables, we have to go to file. File has different options. You can modify the name ID, so you can modify the project name, subject name, and so on. You can add custom variables that it's our case. You can click the custom variables and you can save all the information in an Excel file. So add custom variables. How we can see that here we have new entry. We can write magnetic field in this case, okay, and it's 3 Tesla, and we can confirm. Perfect. So we can see that this subject has group 3 OMG and magnetic field 3 Tesla. Now we can write other custom variables here. We can write glucose for the group, and also in this case, of course, we have to add the custom variables. Magnetic field that is always 3 Tesla. Okay. Now we can see that we have another subject with the same custom variables or the same custom variables for the group glucose. So if we click confirm plus, we can copy the custom variables to other subject. So first of all, we have to select the custom variables that we want to copy. In this case, glucose, the group, and then we have to select the subject to copy the custom variables. That it's this one. Okay, perfect. So here we can see that we have the group glucose. The only field that miss is magnetic field. Also in this case, field 7 Tesla. Okay, now our project is ready to be uploaded to XNAT. We have all the custom variables, we have the DICOM file, so we are ready. Let's go to the home. Perfect. We click uploader. Here you have to provide your credential. In this case, we want to connect to Euro-BioImaging, our instance, login. Okay, and this is the interface. Also in this case, we can upload the entire project, subject, experiment, or additional file that are not DICOM. But in this case, we want to upload the project, DICOM, perfect. And here we can see the folder structure. We have the subject, and we can check the custom variables for our subject. And if you want, you can also edit the custom variables. Click this icon. and you can modify the value. Okay, now we have to choose where to upload the project. I mean, in which project on XNAT. You can select an existing project, or you can create a new project. This is this more or less the same. We have the same functionality that Kranti showed you on XNAT. So we can write a project title, in this case, project webinar. Webinar, okay. We can add a description. Okay, we can write some keywords, for example, on right, okay, and we can submit. Okay, a new project is created. Now we can check on XNAT if we have a new project. Okay, this is my instance. Here we have some existing project that we saw on XNAT-PIC, and now we have project webinar. Perfect. With our description and the keywords MRI in this case, and it's empty, of course, because we have to upload the data. So, okay, now we can click upload to start the uploading. Also in this case, we have a progress bar to have an idea about the uploading. And if we want, we can check to XNAT if the project is uploading. Okay, we can see that we have the first subject. The uploading, of course, depends on the internet connection, but in any case, here we can see that we don't have custom variables because we have to match the custom variables between XNAT and XNAT-PIC. I mean, if you go to manage custom variables, you have to add the custom variables to subject level. You have to add, for example, you have to add your custom variable set. We have to provide a name, webinar, subject, and we want group. Okay, and we want to add the magnetic field. Okay. Your upload is your project is uploaded on XNAT platform. Perfect. So save the custom variables. Done. And now in this case, we can see that we have the custom variables for this project. We have group and magnetic field for each subject, glucose, 3-OMG, so it works. We go to the subject, inside the subject, we have the experiment with all the scan, and this is the part that Kranti showed you before. And so for this tutorial, I think that it's enough. Perfect. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, so thank you, Francesco. So essentially, we have seen this software that we start developing is intended to provide an easy way to upload the raw data sets, and in particular, in order to keep the information regarding the cell grouping. So in order to maintain all this information that are needed to identify for each subject, to which groups they belong to. And so because of with the linear data, don't have so many ways, let's say, or at least it's a bit complicated to identify the different groups, cohorts, and so on. And those are usually dependent on the specific experimental study. And so in that way, with this custom variable, we can label, or let's say, the subjects, in order then once we have uploaded the images, then we can recognize to which subject, to which groups they belong to.